Your bones will join the myriad others. One of the many beliefs surrounding the abyss is that it does not let anyone escape without a sacrifice. The sacrifice that paved the way to freedom for the commander was the hand of the inheritor when he fell at Baphomet's hand, and knowingly triggered processes whose significance far outweighs the fate of a single angel. A lord of the abyss, attacking the herald of one of the most prominent goddesses of heaven, is bound to have consequences. What will this mean for the commander? Will tell. Sorry, I almost choked on my own breath. Find the cell of the hand of the inheritor. We're going to do that. All there, patch. In the room you're in looks more like a palace than prison. Every part of it is impeccably clean, despite the fact that the cell's inhabitant has been dead for millennia. The words coming out of the dead man's mouth catch you off guard. Why, hello there, my dear. I am Obi-Wan Kenobi. I've been waiting and waiting, wondering what my guest was up to and why he hadn't shown up yet. Don't be shy. Have a seat, eat to your heart's content. When you're someone important, you don't talk business standing up now, do you? And we do indeed have business to discuss. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Alderbash, Rune Lord of Wrath, a destroyer and a conqueror. The great tyrant of Bakrakan. Doesn't ring any bells? No, I understand. Many millennia have passed, and all of them I've spent in this prison as Baphomet's captive. It's been a while since I've strolled around Golarion. My heart was still beating back then. It wasn't until later that I became a lich. Wasn't fond of the idea of dying a prisoner here, you see. Well, that's all beside the point. The guards tipped me off that you had barged into this prison, and I thought fate might bring you to my doorstep. I've been expecting you since. So, roughly for 10 minutes, but that still sounds impressive, no? A marvelous find. I've been looking for a sufficiently old but sentient undead specimen to test my theory about the onset of post-mortem senility. Yo-ho, Merido. Well, Mr. Mummy, we're going to run a few cognitive tests. I will say a word. The rest of Daniel's monologue is drowned out by Aldepash's creaking laughter. Trust me, young lady. I'm in no danger of going senile, but I like you. You remind me of an acquaintance of mine. It's been such a long, long time. She was good, both at work and... But this is no time for reminiscence, and even less so for experiments. Rumors about you have been going around the abyss for a while now. Rumors fly free, you see. Can't snare them, can't cage them. Even down here in the deepest dungeons, a tale flies by every now and again about the time you took Dresden from the demons, or about the time a goddess and a demon came to coax you to their side. I've long since wanted to see you for myself and take your measure. You feel the dead eyes fix their gaze on you. And you're a rare bird, straight from paradise, I see. Mortal flesh, touched by the spirit of the higher realms, angelkin. A wonder, plain and simple. I've only seen one or two of your kind in my long life. Who else, if not you, should be the one to crush the abyssal armies? I want to know more about you. By all means, I see no reason not to tell you. I've got some impressive stories to share. I was a great tyrant in life. The good folk were scared witless of me, and in death, as you can see, my power is nothing to sniff at. I continue my explorations on magic, the kind that your generation knows nothing about. Go ahead, my dear. Ask away. He gives you a benevolent smile. So we have a common enemy in Baphomet? Indeed. Alas, I haven't had the pleasure of wounding him by my own hand, although I'd dearly love to spill his guts. Yes, I've heard about your feat. Ever since he rushed back to his abyssal realm and locked himself up in his citadel, everyone's been going on and on about you, my dear. What kind of mortal is this that managed to injure our mighty lord? Aldepash lowers his voice in a confiding manner. He won't soon forget you. He may be ancient, but he's such a child at heart. He's been the same ever since he was created. All he cares about are his grudges. Asmodeus wounded him, Lamashtu left him. Descari doesn't see him as his equal. Nocticula refused to bed him. I mean, he is an ugly son of a... He's a walking collection of scars. His wounds are his essence. So you take heed now. Poor thing. He must be so sad and lonely. People think that demons are made of hatred and malice, but really they are made of pain and sorrow. If only we could help them. But we can't. Arishle's voice is filled with grief. You are right, a demon's life is never-ending torment. And each one takes revenge for their suffering on everyone around them. And they'll just keep on doing it, because those like me are few and far between. Most of them will never change their ways. If only I could talk to each of the demons. If I could only free them from the abyss. Tell me of your great accomplishments. Ah, they don't teach you youngsters anything these days, huh? Then listen well, kid. 10,000 years ago, there was the great empire of Dassilon, and no nation of today could hold a candle to its glory. It was led by Emperor Xin, in accordance with the 7 virtues of rule. His reign was long, but ended in tragedy. Xin was deposed by 7 stewards, who then split Dassilon between them. They twisted the virtues of rule for the sake of their ever-growing power, and created the magic of the 7 vices. By the way, those spells of yours, all those silly schools, they were all based on our concepts. Except you lot have lost track of their substance, the power itself over the centuries. These 7 great mages of yore called themselves the Rune Lords, the first of whom was me, Aldebash, Lord of Bakrakan, Rune Lord of Wrath. I'm not going to list all my deeds, that would be boastful and long, we'd be here next millennia, but let's just say I've spilled enough blood to fill all the rivers on Golarion, and then a couple of rivers on other planes, and the tears my actions brought could fill the same thrice over. I mean, maybe even 40 times. Yes, my reign was grand and glorious. They would tremble at the mention of my name for many centuries to come. You do not look like a classic villain to me. Aldebash snickers gleefully. Well, that's because I'm not one. They just call me that. And for what? Was putting 7,000 slaves on stakes for their rebellion an act of villainy? I had the well-being of others in mind. I gave them a warning so they wouldn't die a horrible death. As for plundering neighboring kingdoms and beheading my servants, there's no evil in that at all. That's just the daily life of any ruler. What the... I'm prone to fits of temper, yes, but only when there's a good reason. If someone failed me, I'd just smite them without mercy. Yes, it's true. Such lack of restraint is a part of my power and my talent, typical ruler behavior. That's just how we Rune Lords of Wrath are. I remember about 1,000 or so years after I was first thrown in here, a woman by the name of Alesnest came to visit. Oh, she was a fierce one, too. Ripped my skull off and took it with her as a trophy. Then she went to Bakrakan, found the one who was the Rune Lord of Wrath at the time, the third one after me, executed his wife and 7 children, and made the ruler himself into an undead. She kept whispering to my skull, asking for advice. She really took a shine to me. She was something, that one. Oh, the last Rune Lord of Wrath in history, mind you. So I'm not angry with her about the skull. Why would I be? I was reborn from my phylactery anyway, good as new. Astounding savagery. This is not how I imagined the great kingdoms of old. Strange. I thought you approved of brutality. I approve of rational conduct, brutality guided by reason, but his vaunted mass slaughters are a sign of degradation, not greatness. Where do you keep your phylactery? Alderash smirks slyly. What a curious question. What, pray tell, do you need this knowledge for, my dear? Methinks you shouldn't be troubling that clever young head of yours with secrets like that. Well, let's say you find out where it is. Then what? Let's say you destroy it, but why would you? We're not enemies, we're all allies. Besides, you couldn't find it if you tried. I'm no buffoon. My phylactery is hidden in a safe place far from here. His soft, harmless chuckle could have fooled many, but you noticed his hand twitching as soon as you mentioned the phylactery. I want to learn more about your magic research. Ah, my dear, I've been keeping busy with all sorts of things over the centuries. I bet you youngsters haven't even heard a whisper about our magic of sin. When Baphomet locked me in here, he wrapped me up in his spells good and tight. Very tight. The enchantment was so powerful, it bound my soul to this very cell. The things have attempted to circumvent his handiwork, conjuring golems to spread my power beyond the walls of the prison, moving my consciousness into other bodies. So many minds obliterated in that particular effort, and all for naught. When I grew desperate, I whipped up some fanciful undead, just to vex Baphomet and lay waste to his jail. Must have slaughtered half the labyrinth, then stopped. It was too much of a hassle. I'm just bragging at this point. For you to understand my discoveries, you'd have to study as my apprentice for an age or two. You know what kind of education mages used to get? Far beyond anything they teach these days. Needless to say, I've hidden my most valuable creations and treasures far from this place so that Baphomet can't get his hands on any of them. The guards assigned to me were so kind as to accept a modest bribe and carry them out of the prison to stow somewhere safe. His phylactery, however, was not one of them. Your knowledge tells you that Aldepash could not have removed his greatest treasure from the prison, as it contains his very soul. Baphomet's magic would make no distinction between the phylactery and the lich's physical body. So apparently to be a lich you need a phylactery, and there you store your soul? Okay. You spring chickens are all so hasty. Wait until your hair goes white, then you'll see how little was actually clear to you in your youth. Tell me about the ineluctable prison. Ah, well, what are you interested in, my dear? I know a fair bit. My guards, you see, some of them like coin, and some are just afraid of me, so they tell me everything. I listen to their confessions each and every day. That's why I know all about the secret path through this here maze, and a thing or two about the inmates. How do I find my way through the labyrinth? Ah, well, what do you think demonic pathways are for? Haven't you seen the arcane symbols inscribed all over the place? Those fiendish scribbles are the power portals you need. They tie all the cells together, and the demons hop right through them. If there's a place you need that's of any importance whatsoever, it'll have a magic symbol like that one. I'm looking for Iomedes' Herald. It's a big archangel. He's being held here. He rolls his unnerving eyes. Oh, the noisy fellow, huh? Honestly, all that screaming, oh. I know they're torturing him, but still, he could scream a little bit quiet, yeah? I wish I could take his melodious throat and well it shut with white-hot lead, so it'd stop bothering everyone else. Oh no, I can't get to him. They're holding him in the most secure torture room of all, and the warden always keeps the coveted key close by. So we need to kill the warden. Who in this prison can help me fight Baphomet? Aldepash laughs, baring strong, large, yellowish teeth. Oh, my dear, this dungeon is full of those who wish Baphomet ill. That's just a catch, though. Most of them are dead as mutton. Not like me, I mean. Properly dead. Their bones are dust, nothing but a ghost left. They're not going anywhere. That's the magic of the ineluctable prison for you. They sit here, all locked up, and cry. Oh, how they cry. And when the angel was brought in to be tortured, they all found themselves a cranny to hide in. Take a peek between the stones. You might find someone who can tell you something useful. Tell me about the history of this place. The ineluctable prison is Baphomet's favorite toy, but no matter how much he brags about it, it's not of his making. Back when Baphomet was still a lusty young goat, he was itching to impress his mother and lover Lamashtu, and he thought stealing the Prince of Darkness's most treasured scepter was a fantastic idea. Like any other foolish endeavor, it all ended in tears. Asmodeus caught the thief by the horns, gave him a good spanking, burnt his cattle brand on Baphomet's forehead, and threw him into the ivory labyrinth to rot in darkness and utter rancor. That's where the Prince of Darkness made his blunder. As my subjects knew well, before imprisoning a thief, one should cut off both their hands, for that is the only way to wean them off this awful habit. Baphomet called his esteemed mother, but Lamashtu refused to save such an embarrassment, and our little goat was left all alone. I don't know what he did to get the demon Lord Areshkagal's attention, but she took a sudden interest in his troubles and gave him a clue about how to escape. Oh, he didn't tell us that? Interesting. Don't go thinking he's some paragon of mercy, however. She's still a demon, and her gift was poisoned. In his attempts to make sense of Areshkagal's words, our goat drove himself quite insane, which undoubtedly brought his benefactor a great deal of entertainment. Yet he managed to solve her riddle, and Once he did, he stole the ivory labyrinth and brought it into the abyss. He couldn't leave, you know. Such was Athmorois's will, but technically he never left. He was still in the maze, a true rascal. The labyrinth became the heart of the realm that he formed in the abyss after his escape. He must have been feeling nostalgic about the good old days. How else can you explain the fact that he turned the seal burned on his brow by Asmodeus into his second personal symbol? I guess the little hornhead misses the good old days when he was tortured on the Prince of Darkness's rack. Okay. How did you end up here? Oh, I was betrayed, my son. Sorashan, rune lord of lust, was nothing compared to me, yet she wanted to take my place as the leader and found a source of truly legendary powers. Naturally, I was furious and thought I'd do away with the upstart. To even the odds, I made a deal with Baphomet. I borrowed a part of his might and promised to give him Sorshen when I was done playing with her. Oh, she was a wild one. But the Lord of Beasts came to me and demanded payment when I was just putting my cunning plans into motion. It goes without saying that Baphomet was more interested in taking me instead of some Sorshen. So under the pretext of me breaking the terms of our pact, he seized me. A show of treachery on his part, yes, but what else could you expect from a demon? And not all prisoners are allowed this kind of luxury. Don't be fooled, this is all just Baphomet's idea of a joke. That weasel wants to remind me every day how much I lost when he captured me. He went to the trouble of making my cell look exactly like my chambers in Bakrakan. Oh, my dear. Sometimes I take one look at it and I just... He stops mid-sentence, clenching his fists until they crack, and you notice signs of repeated, rigorous restoration all around. Looks like Aldapash has had numerous fits of temper over the centuries of his imprisonment. You notice that, contrary to what Aldapash has just said, not all of the interior of this cell belongs to the era of the Rune Lord's rule in Tassilon. Far from it. Many items in here came into use as a much later period in history, and mostly those that are implements for the arcane arts. You can clearly tell that Aldapash's phylactery is somewhere hidden in his chamber. Despite his attempts to hide the fact, his concern is understandable. After all, if you destroy it, he will lose his immortality. The phylactery could be absolutely anything, any of the furnishings, or the trinkets around here. Everything is clear to me now. What sort of business do you have with me? Oh, here's the thing. I've grown weary of sitting there and here and now, and I can't escape. I've tried so many things. Every trick in the book. Nothing. A Baphomet placed enchantments on me that hold me in this cell and utterly refused to let me walk out the door. And anti-magic spells have never been my forte. I've always believed incineration to be the best defense against enemy sorcery. And here I am, languishing in here. Would you, my dear, kindly help me escape? I'd make it worth your while. What do you say? What kind of payment will I get for helping you? I have something that could prove useful to you. Back when I still lived, I was interested in a certain plane called Gendelay, a remarkable place. A chimera of sorts, the graveyard for dead planets. The what? Getting there is tricky, but I managed to capture one of the guardians of the plane. I wore them down in a torture chamber, wringing some of their knowledge from them before they perished. Whoa. Okay. He traces an unfinished rune on the table with his hands, with his finger. This is part of the rune of Jandelay that offers protection from chaos. A substantial asset in the war with the demons, don't you think? Help me regain my freedom and I'll teach you or your servants how to inscribe this rune. What will you do if you get out of here? Aldapash said in a nonchalant tone. Well, first I'll get my kingdom back. I'll enslave the populace, conquer my neighbors, maybe commit genocide against some particularly unruly nations, build myself an army by taking children from their mothers and putting the latter to the sword. Orphans make for loyal troops, you know. I'll clap everyone else in irons and make them work without a moment's rest until my coffers are overflowing. The fuck? Those who are useless in both war and work will be cut down in mass sacrifices. Basically, I'll make myself comfortable and lead a quiet existence without bothering anyone. What the heck? Should we help him? Well, we're not on the Licht path, so we don't really need to play with him. Alderpash free. How to free Alderpash? I will. Should we even do that? What does the internet say? Even if you do kill Baphomet, there is no ending slide regarding Alderpash. So it doesn't really matter. Yeah, but we're not going to help him. You can choose to help him escape or destroy his phylactery. Yeah, we're going to destroy him. We can't let him free. The heck? I won't help you. Clicking his tongue. Alderpash shakes his head disapprovingly. Ah, young men are so quick to judge. And I was so close to swearing that the misdeeds I'll commit when I'm free won't affect you. Think about this some more, my dear. No rash decisions now. Yeah, I have to go. I'm most certainly not trying this food. Let's see how we can find his phylactery. We should be able to find it now. This is an elder, yes. How about this one? No. The books? Nope. Nope. Maybe the bed? Nope. Oh, this is new. It seems that this liquid metal was what Alderpash chose as the vessel for his soul.
I'll take care of it.
Alderpash's phylactery. What have you done, ruffian? Well, ensured your death. So, cloak, blah, dried hand of martyr, usable item. Subject gains a moral bonus, oh, death spell. Subject is immune to an energy drain, any negative energy effects. Ooh. Well, that's interesting. Usable. 1 minute per level. Charge, 1 charge. Alderpash's skull, the head of the Lich Pash, containing knowledge of the ancient secrets of the Rune Lords and their horrific trespasses. Okay, well maybe we can extract the knowledge from him by research. Can we get further in here? That's a no. Okay. Oh, you got to be joking me.
It's time to act.
Cure light wounds, moderate wounds, serious wounds. Oh, you got to be joking me. Okay, I'm just going to load this. This is ridiculous. So we're just going to send in one of our mates.
Huh? Oh, yes, what? Anything new?
I am never wrong. I'm gone.
This will leave a bruise.
Damn. I mean, we have an infinite amount of health, but apparently this big boulder doesn't care. Oh, you got to be kidding me. How am I supposed to stop this from happening? We're not far. I mean, maybe we need a teleportation spell or maybe haste or something, but I don't want that. I want to do it the old-fashioned way, just walking and running.
A bright future awaits us.
A mere flesh wound.
kidding me? Sure, he's almost dead. That's ridiculous.
A shame one life is not enough to master them all.
No reason to pause.
I'll take care of it.
We will win
You're
this war.
I'm ready to move out.
It's time to act.
Together we stand.
I am never wrong.
Rely on me.
To wait until the next builder appears, and then we're going to say goodbye.
I'm gone.
Whatever.
This will be quick. I still got it. We do it my way.
I won't let you hurt my friends. Anything new?
Whatever.
Oh, bastard sword. Well, hello there. That one looks interesting. Let's see what's in this chest.
Easy.
Okay, bastard sword. Let's see. A 98. Ooh. Whenever the wielder of this +5 furious bastard sword lands a killing blow, it casts greater shout as an 18th level wizard immediately afterward. Wait, what? That sounds interesting. Okay. Wait, 77. Okay. And that one is 75. Let's try the bastard sword.
Follow if you dare. I'm always ready. I'm off. Ha! A trivial task. A trivial task.
What are these obelisks for? Odd. Well, that's the story for the next episode.